I want to talk about Nick Bosa. Now, is Nick Bosa. Now, I know this is a 49ers show, so I expect all the biases to come out right now, but is Nick Bosa the best defensive end in football? And there's only one answer. And at the end of the day, in 2023, I mean, didn't this gentleman win Defensive Player of the Year? So not only was he the best defensive end in football, he was also the best damn defensive player in football. There's like not even a question, right? Best defensive player in football. And I know people are like, well, what is Breezy talking about? Listen, I tell you what, there's this list that came out this past weekend. Now, I'm happy about the list. You dig? I mean, look, there's 3 49ers up there. Funny, too, how there are also 3 Kansas City Chiefs on this list. Now, this is per at the line of scrimmage off of Instagram. Okay. Now I gotta pull up some of y'all messages. Kali saying, hell yeah. What kind of question is that? You know what, Kali? I'm only asking the question because apparently there's some people out there that sleep underneath a whole bunch of rocks and boulders and shoulders and things like that to where they're getting it twisted. Because I don't understand how this guy isn't necessarily labeled the best defensive end in football after winning the best defensive player in football. I'm confused. I'm buffeted. I don't understand. I don't get it. All right. Jerry saying yes and yes, even with all the hate. I love it. Paul, number 97, defensive player of the year. I mean, yeah. Right. All right. So let's look at the list. All right. So quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, running back, Christian McCaffrey. We get the thumbs up for that. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson. Tight end, Travis Kelce. I'll give Travis Kelce the best tight end in football. It is what it is. Okay, I'll give him that. All right. I'm getting to it, though. Offensive lineman, period. They ain't even care if the offensive lineman had a position. It didn't matter if you were a tackle. It didn't matter if you were a guard. It didn't matter if you were the center. If you were an offensive lineman, Trent Williams got the best player. All right. Now we're going down to the defensive line. Let me see if I can make myself a little bit, you know what? Y'all can't see it. So let me go ahead and do this. Let me take off the border because I want y'all to see what the hell is going on here. Okay. All right. So now we're getting down to the defensive line portion. Chris Jones, best defensive lineman. You know what? In my opinion, he was the best. My second favorite was Javon Hargrave. Go figure. But we'll give it to Chris Jones. He was the man. All right. I'm going to skip over that one. Fred Warner, linebacker. Not even an argument. No doubt. Best linebacker in football, can cover, can stop the run, can predict what offenses are going to do. He's just the greatest out there right now, right? Nobody's seeing Fred Warner. Cornerback, a rookie, right? Or am I wrong? Was Sauce Gardner a rookie last year? Last time I checked, I thought he got drafted. You know what I'm saying? And his first year was last year. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But you know what? It don't effing matter. He was a problem. He was a problem. Not only was he a problem, Sauce Gardner gives me primetime vibes. Primetime vibes. What do I mean by that? I mean, he talks his talk and then he backs it up. Sauce Gardner, New York Jets got a real one with Sauce Gardner. Matter of fact, Sauce Gardner is keeping Robert Saleh's coaching career alive. What a pick. What a pick. And then Minka Fitzpatrick, I would say, was the best safety in football. And I shout out to everybody that's saying that he was a rookie. Shout out to Mose. Appreciate that. I thought he was, but it's just amazing. Got one rookie on this list. Now let's go ahead and scroll on back. Scroll on back to that defensive end position. Cause I don't get it. Now listen, y'all know, first of all, y'all know I love football, right? And y'all know I got some favorite players that just aren't on the 49ers. And Micah Parsons is one of my favorite players. He that dude. I ain't even gonna stunt. He that dude. Let's just keep it a buck. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan and you're watching this show, Micah Parsons is that dude. Y'all got a real one. But how the hell is the best defensive player in the game not on this list? How is it that Nick Bosa still gets no respect? I'm just curious. And people probably like, damn, Breezy, why you making something out of nothing? I'm not making nothing out of nothing and something and whatever you're trying to say. I'm best NF. Let me make sure I can read this right. Where my Zennies? I don't know where they at. They somewhere around here. Best NFL player per position for next season via, that's what that bar kind of like stand for, at the line of scrimmage. I think the list is spot on until you get to the defensive end position, because I'm trying to figure out how Parsons is better than Nick Bosa. I don't get how anybody can vote the potential of a player being better after a player just finished winning the Defensive Player of the Year. I never in my entire life seen so much disrespect. And I know it sounds like I'm whining, but ask me if I care. This is the Wayne Breezy Show. I've never seen so much disrespect in my entire life. Every year, Aaron Donald won that award. He was the best defensive player in the league. Correct? Ain't nobody question it. Not one 49er fan, not one fan from any other team in that division. Not one fan in the NFL questioned Aaron Donald being the best defensive player in football. And I know he's not on this list. Chris Jones is. That's why I said, arguably to me, Chris Jones was 1. I think Javon Hargrave was 2. Aaron Donald, number 3. You dig? But it could be interchangeable. I don't know. At some point, I'm trying to figure out, like, when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, I'm trying to understand, like, why are we shaded so much? Like, why? Like, and you know what? For me, I feel like, oh, is this what this was? Is that what this was? Okay, so You're Right came in with a possible solution. Okay, all right, saying 3 max players per team. And again, I told you that the 49ers and Chiefs were tied with max players. Now, this is no shade to Christian McCaffrey. No shade whatsoever. But was he the best running back in the league last year? I mean, Josh Jacobs had a year, right? Could we argue, and if it's a 3 max player rule year, right? I'm with you. But could we argue that maybe they could pick a different running back? Maybe I thought Josh Jacobs might have been the best running back in football last year. And y'all know, some people, look, all right, in the chat right now, since we're talking about this list, Nick Bosa getting snubbed, who was the best running back in the NFL last year? I'm going to post them up. John says Austin Eckler. Hey, I know it's for next season. I know it's going into next season, but in order to go into next season, you got to base it off of what they did last year, Creek CB, right? Right? Don't you got to go off of the trajectory of how they finished last year? I'm not saying that CMC wasn't. I'm just saying I feel like if it's a max 3-player rule, right? If it's a max 3-player rule, I feel like you can shift. I feel like the Christian McCaffrey one would be most arguable or argumentative. And then, like, there should not even be a question about who the best defensive end in football. So all right. So if we're talking, look, everybody's saying Josh, I thought it was just me. Like, we need to make sure we get this show put out. I'm going to make sure I put this out because I want people to see that 49er fans aren't homers. Because look at all the Josh Jacobs, and we can't stand the Raiders. You feel me? All right, Don't Bother Me says McCaffrey is in the beat position going into next year. Listen, no doubt. But then you have those fans from the other teams that's going to argue that, why Josh Jacobs isn't if he was the best running back last year, or the Derrick Henry running backs fans, listen, I'm all cool with Christian McCaffrey being on this. How can we, and look at nobody mention him? Why not? It was there you go. Right? Why is nobody mentioning Saquon Barkley? I feel like them were your top 3 running backs, right? Barkley, McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, then a little Austin Eckler, and then Nick Chubb will probably be my 5th to cap it off. That's just me. I felt like they all could do some things. All right, slide that junk back down. We got to finish this cap up. We got to finish this segment. So let's talk about who the best defensive ends in football. Now, a lot of people feel like Micah Parsons is an outside linebacker, but in that 3-4 type of defense, for whatever they run in Dallas, he plays on the end. He does. He plays pretty much everywhere they asked him to play. That's why I feel like he's that dude. But how do you overlook Nick Bosa? And at some point, here's what I get. Nick Bosa gets overlooked, overshadowed, right? He doesn't get penalty calls. So how about going into next season? Are you telling me Nick Bosa is going to take a decline? Is it because he's going to get paid? Possibly. Maybe that's what this list is off about, because it is going into next season. I want everybody to know that. But I don't see Patrick Mahomes taking a decline. I don't see Justin Jefferson taking the decline. I don't see Travis Kelce taking the decline, even though I think George Kittle going to beat him this year. But there are other tight ends out there. Trent Williams, no. Chris Jones, I would arguably say, hey, he was best last season. I don't feel like Aaron Donald's going to slouch off. And y'all better look out for Javon Hargrave, former Philadelphia Eagle. So going into next season, no one had more pressures than Javon Hargrave, yet he not on this list. Fred Warner, okay. Sauce going to be the best damn DB in football for the next 10 years. He just is. It's just what it is. All right. But do you guys feel like Nick Bosa got snubbed or off of this list? You know what I'm saying? That's the question. It's just like, dang, like how much more does Nick Bosa have to do? Led the league in sacks last year. Led the league in sacks. Like, right? Like single sacks, guys, not the total team sacks, but led the league. Right? And then finish with Defensive Player of the Year. How does that not preface you going into next season as the best? I think that is my issue with this list. So you could say Micah Parsons can be projected to be best, but how is he not already second to Nick Bosa? That's my question. How is everybody else is? So how is it that he's not second to Nick Bosa? I guess that's my question. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, there ain't no hate toward Micah Parsons. I think he's that dude. But come on, man. Even Dallas Cowboy fans would say that Nick Bosa the best damn defensive player in the year. We got some snubs. I got you. We got some snubs. Shout out to everybody out there. We got some snubs. Eddie G says, Wayne Breezy, just watch the combo of Gravedigger and Bosa does to this league. That's a whole different list, right? You want to talk about killer instinct combos? That's going to be my thing for all next season. I'm going to be a killer combo. Every time they do something, killer combo, 35 hits, killer. But listen, Nick Bosa needs to start getting his credit. I mean, what else does he have to do? Get a Super Bowl ring? Does Micah Parsons have a Super Bowl ring? Do any of the defensive ends that are the top defensive ends in the league have Super Bowl rings?